Welcome back to A-Team Adventures. I'm Andrew. Excited to get to take you on the water today. Let's get after it. And we just hooked into a fish here. Let's see if we can get this one to go. All right. Short, fat fish. It's not a giant, but it's for how short it is. It is that. I mean, look at that. Do you see that? Just a chunky belly on that short little fish. Anyway, we'll put that one back. So we've been bouncing around just a little bit. That's the first fish of the day, and we're on a point going back. It, loops around. We're running down a long stretch of bank which runs into a point and back into a cove, which I suspect would be a spawning pocket. I don't know that for 100% sure, but that's what I'd suspect. And so we're going to fish this a little bit more, see if we can pick up a couple more, and work our way back into the pocket. He was foul hooked, so it just popped off, but probably 1.5 pounds, something like that. Nice to see. Obviously, there's more than one here, so that's something. That's the smallest one yet. All right, hey. One thing I'm noticing. Go back a little. Now something I'm noticing that I should point out. These fish are extremely white. All of them, well, both of them, and then even the one that I lost, I could tell it was fairly white just from watching it roll and swim. And so these fish are just moving up. This seems to be a wave of them here. There might be more in the shallows already that are darker and look like they've been, up shallow for a while, but all of these fish so far have been very white and look like they have been in deeper water recently. We're going to loop around. I kind of would like to stay still and be quiet, so I'm going to loop around and stick my power poles in the shallower water up here. Oh, pickerel. Oh my, look at that. Wrong species. Oh well. Now there does seem to be a wad of fish there. Come on. Right on the side of his face. I'm not sure what this means, but so far two of the fish have eaten it in their mouth, and the others, that one and the other bass that we lost, they just slapped at it. know if it's because the bait's not exactly right, or maybe there's so many fish that they're kind of just, you know, fighting over it. Hard to tell. Picking up one more here. We probably made 8 or 10 casts. Cast this a little bit more, but then I'm probably going to try a different bait and see if they eat it just a little better. It's so weird. Well, he's kind of got a piece of it in his mouth, but kind of foul hooked. Okay. Now, yeah, he was slapping at it. All right. Okay, put that one back. That's a male. He's been caught before. You can see it on the corner of his lip. I might just for ha-has. That is the Jackal re-range. This is the mega bass. So I'm just going to make a quick swap and see if we can pick off another one and if they eat it better. Alright, hooked into one more. I could not get a bite on the other jerkbait, so I swapped back, and again they're slapping at it. I have no idea why, but I can only so far get bit on this one. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. But I'm not going to fight it either. It seems like, so the water was really deep just out past, and it comes way out to make a point and loop back into the cove. But it seems like it's a bar almost as well, so it comes down, and that's a break line that comes into this shallow pocket. So out here, as it goes up this way, you're starting to get into quite a few weeds. So we'll see. I seem to be hitting weeds quite a bit, and then in between that getting fish. So I might try working like a chatterbait or something like that I can really get down in the weeds and rip it through them a little bit after I do this. So we'll see. But that right there could explain part of what's going on. It's possible that this bait dives just a hair deeper and that it's ticking the weeds in just the right way that they're reacting to it. I don't know. I'm just, you know, making a hypothesis and trying to prove or disprove it. But you're always looking for something. But it's possible that they're just reacting to it. They're not trying to feed. And so when it hits the weeds just so, they lash out. I don't know. Maybe. I can't think of who said it, but they say one of the books I read said hypotheses guide, assumptions blind. And so when you make a hypothesis, you try to prove or disprove it. And then if you make an assumption, well, now you're just trying to constantly prove your assumption. But with a hypothesis, you say, well, if this were true, what would prove or disprove that? You're a little bit more separate from it, so you can look at it with a more honest, maybe honest eye or something like that. I want to say Chris Voss was the one who quoted it in Never Split the Difference, but I don't think that was original with him. But I think that's the book that it was in. It was Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. If you want to read a phenomenal book, unbelievable. He was an FBI negotiator for years, and just a really, really cool guy, and wonderful, helpful book, especially if you're in sales. But frankly, we're all in sales in some way. So it's just a phenomenal book if you ever had the opportunity to read it. Tip of the day. All right. The wrong species for pretty decent fish. We got a toothy critter right here. Look at that thing. Ugh, yuck. Ugh. All right, well, tell you what though, he's going in the live well. That's a good eating fish right there. All right, buddy, in you go. In you go. Enjoy your stay. All right. This is a lot like the Hotel California right here. You can come anytime you want, but you can never leave. They are slimy though. Ugh. Ugh. Slimy. So that's on a swim jig right there. A swim jig fish. Just working it through some lily pads and just exploded on it. Fun. Wrong species, but a lot of fun. All right, we're gonna keep at it. Okay, guys, we are in the weeds. I mean, buried, and I pulled out a frog right here. I got it stuck, but that's why we're up here. And I had a bite, and it was they went after it, and I missed it, and so I went up all the way up in the shallows, saw some big fish swim off. So I picked up a creature bait, flipped it in there, and there were three or four big ones in there, and that one bit, and I got him. So that was kind of fun. Doesn't usually happen that way, that you're in this skinny of water and get them to bite, but it's always worth trying. So that's what we did, and it paid off. So we're gonna see. I mean, we are in no water at all. I mean, these fish, their backs are practically out of the water. That is how skinny it is. There's another one right there. I spooked him. Oh well. You gotta try. We caught one of them. And these are some big fish in no water at all. Goodness gracious. It's a gnarly place in here. It's a jungle, as they say. It's a jungle. Alrighty, first topwater fish of the year for me. I've gotten a bite on this earlier and then one on the frog, but it's the old buzzbait, and I got him on the safety hook back here, all the way in the back. I'll show you. I don't love running one of these safety hooks, but because it's not as weedless, but because it's the first of the year, I figure we're probably going to have a harder time connecting with them. So I put one on, and I'm glad I did. Caught that little beauty. Put her back in the water. That is fun. First topwater fish of the year. All right. That first hook, the bigger hook, could be sharpened just a little bit, but I have caught a ton of fish on this particular buzzbait. Horny toad trailer right there. Horny toad trailer. And I think it's just a Strike King 1/2 ounce buzzbait. It has produced quite a few fish. So we'll see if we can keep putting it to work. All right. Something I should note, I am rolling it about as slow as I can go, just keeping it on the surface. Again, the water's warming up, and it's warmer in here than it is on the main lake by maybe 4 or 5 degrees, but it's still pretty cold. So I'm running it nice and slow, and just letting them come get it. Picked up wrong species, but another buzzbait fish. Look at that toothy critter. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at him. Yeah. Look at that guy. He had that. I mean, both hooks buried in there. Look at that thing. Ugh, they are, careful, they are hideous. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay. But they do taste delicious. So I'm not necessarily upset. I love topwater fishing when it works. I'm not so dedicated that I'll do it when I don't think it's working. But if it's working, it's very difficult for me to not fish something on top of the water just because it's so satisfying when they bite. So let's catch another one. Okay guys, I thought I'd take a quick second and show you a little bit about what I do to the buzzbait. So this one was originally a skirted buzzbait, and boy, I don't particularly care for the skirts. I mean, some people love them. I really don't. I prefer something like this, something where I throw on a horny toad. I've even seen people put like a swim bait on the back of it. I like the horny toad very well. It seems to level it out planing wise. And you can tune a spinnerbait just like you can a crankbait. I mean, wow, a buzzbait, just like you can a crankbait or a spinnerbait. But if it'll start walking, so if it's coming back at you, it'll be walking one side or the other, and you just adjust it with the metal. You just bend that back and forth just a little bit, and you can get it to run perfectly straight. Now sometimes you want it to walk sideways. Let's say I'm going down a bank, and the bank is on this side, and my boat's sitting out from it. Maybe I want it to run sort of not straight, but to the side where it's running down the bank. So I might adjust it out of tune on purpose for that. But most of the time I just want it running straight and true right back to me. And so then when I put this horny toad on, I bite off like the first quarter, or take scissors and clip it off, and it's come loose on that last fish. And then I take my super glue and I just put a little bit on there and fish it up all the way and glue it right to the top. Make sure it's nice and straight and level, and glue it right to the top, and then let it sit a little bit and you're good to fish it again. But that's what I do for my buzzbait, and so, some come with clackers or all different things. If you wanted to, you could bend this down so it barely nicked it. I don't want to. We're in pretty skinny water. I'm not necessarily wanting to add to the noise. It seems pretty good as it is. So we'll keep fishing it. Oh, another quick tip while I'm thinking about it. When you're fishing a buzzbait, it has to run on top of the surface, but it's obviously weighted. So if you let it sit, it's going to start sinking, which you don't want to do. So when you make it cast, you kind of want to engage your reel just before it hits the ground or the water, so you can start reeling immediately and keep that right on the surface. So that's just a quick tip there for you guys. All right, let's get after it. It's a little white. I don't think this fish has been up in the shallows all that long. This one looks pretty bleached out. Just picking them off. some halfway decent fish back here. I've seen a few that I haven't been able to get to bite, but it's been fun catching some of them. And boy, using top water this early in the season is just a ball. Again, it's early for us. Some people, you know, down south, this isn't early at all. I mean, you're way past that. You've been catching fish on top water for months, but for us, it's pretty unusual this early in the year. So it's a treat, and what a ball. All right, let's see if we can catch another one. Haven't moved at all. I ate, I sat down, I decided, ooh. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. That might be the best one yet today. I was, it's pretty warm out here, so I figured, you know what? I'm gonna put the power poles down, eat an apple, drink a little water, and keep going. And I haven't moved at all, and we just picked this one up. It's the mouth. We've got the mouth coming back into. So let me release this one, and then we'll talk about this real quickly. We were catching some out. We were talking about it just a little bit ago. We've got a long lake that goes, you know, outside of this pocket, but a long lake, and it comes down and goes down here, and there's kind of a point, and it loops around into this, what you're seeing, this spawning cove. But right here, it necks down even further to probably, I don't know, maybe 65 yards wide, and goes back into a much shallower little pocket. In the summertime, you probably could never get back in here because it's so weedy. Maybe if you had a kayak or used a push pole, but it's so weedy you could never get into here. But the fish seem to be moving right up into here now and getting ready to spawn and just cruising around. And so I casted, there's some lily pads that are just starting to emerge from the water. So I just cast it to the mouth and just winding it back and just clobbered it. So lots of fun. Let's keep going. Alright guys, we made a pretty radical shift to the far end of the lake. Just working down a bank, just spawning what I would think is a spawning pocket back behind us. And there's a island kind of rock outcropping right there. And so what I'm thinking, we'll see how it plays out. So far, one decent fish. We can get him in here. Alright, there we go. One decent fish, again, super white. I mean, look at how bleached out that fish is. Super, I don't know if you can see that well enough, but I mean, that fish is bleached out. Back in the water. But the idea is, what I'm thinking is that they're probably moving from that deep, it drops off into deep water, rock outcropping, up this bank and into multiple sort of spawning pockets back here. And I'm hoping that we're going to intercept those. So that's one. Keep going and see what we can find. Just feels the way it's moving. Okay. Alright guys, see? There you go, a little trout. That's what trout move drastically different than bass. When they hit your bait, they instantly start shaking and thrashing. So you can almost tell sometimes when they bite your bait. Alright, we're gonna get the trout made a mess of the boat a little bit. We're gonna get it cleaned up and back to fishing. Alright, we've moved again. We're back in the mouth of the creek, and I just figured I was on south end, and it is about 10 degrees cooler than the pocket that we were in on the far north end. So a pretty big difference from one end of the lake to the other. And it seems like maybe, we'll see, we're going to go in here a little farther, but it seems like maybe here more of the males, the buck bass, are moving up, and then the other end, the females were moving up as well. We caught some bigger fish, but we're gonna move in just a little bit since we caught 3 right at the mouth. And I'm now just winding the jackhammer chatterbait through there and picking off a few. So we're gonna move in a little bit farther and see what we can find. We've moved maybe 20 feet into the creek and just picking up the power poles and just letting the wind drift us in. It's pretty weedy, and so we picked up a decent fish there. Good enough. All right, picked up another one on the buzzbait, and it's strange how that works. Feisty fish. All right, get her back in the water. I haven't moved at all. I've made quite a few more casts, and I figured before I picked up these power poles and moved in a little farther, I just throw the buzzbait. It seems like, you know, again, just mixing those baits up just seems important. And it's a spot that I made probably 5 casts to with the chatterbait, and then I ran the buzzbait over it real nice and slow and just destroyed it. So it's kind of odd how that works. You know, they just respond to different baits better sometimes than others. And obviously the chatterbait's working, but the buzzbait picked off another one that we would have missed. So let's keep at it. Just a baby, but he has it right where it's supposed to be. All right. Keep going. Alright guys, little baby, but a point I want to make, this fish struck at the buzzbait twice. I missed him, so then I kept making cast after cast after cast after cast and changed directions a little bit. I moved to the back of the boat, struck again, didn't get him, and then I swapped to a creature bait, flipped that in there a couple times, and then I swapped to the chatterbait, and he finally bit again and we got it. Yeah, not a giant, but the point being, if that was a giant, we would have really wanted it. And so it's good practice sometimes to just work an area, work an area, work an area, and just keep trying things until you get that fish to bite. Sometimes they won't, but it's good practice to be aware of. And it worked this time. And if that was a 3 or 4 or 5, pound fish, we would have really wanted it. So just something, a little quick tip for you there on, if you miss a fish with buzzbait, which happens, you can keep trying it with it or swap with another bait. All right, let's keep going. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. The sun's going down, and we've got quite a haul back down the lake, and we're almost 2 hours away from the house, so it's going to be a late night as it is. We have had a ball to catch fish on the buzzbait. Oh my word, what a joy that was. And I was on the phone there for a little bit, and we caught a bunch more fish on the buzzbait. We caught a couple more on the chatterbait, but we've sat right here. We have not moved at all, and we have caught some just good fish on the buzzbait. Some small ones too, but we've caught some good ones. And that's happened a few times when they've missed it, and I've gone back over a couple times and got them, or switched to the chatterbait, and they bit it, and we caught those fish. So just that's a good thing to remember, because they will miss this sometimes, and follow up with another bait. If you're in an area where it isn't weedy, this is very weedy, but I might throw in like a Senko or something, a weightless worm, and really let that go down slow. But here I don't have that option, so I'm just swapping to another bait that handles the weeds pretty well. But what a ball. And we've caught them on this, the buzzbait, we've caught them on chatterbait. We've caught them on the jerk bait. I think that's it. Oh, we've caught one on a creature bait, but that's pretty much it, I think. But what just a terrific day. And they were, we caught them out deeper, but then we caught the bulk of the fish in the shallows. And it was, again, about 10 degrees warmer in the shallow water than it was on the main lake. And so that's made a big difference, and the fish just seem to be piling in here into these shallow areas. So we're gonna pack it up, but really fun to get to fish with you guys. Really fun to make the buzzbait work today, and can't wait to get out with you in the future. Take care, guys.